Thanks for the introduction, Andy. Andy has been one of my great partners at Zango over the last few months, and particularly in the last couple of months as we have begun working together along with quite a few others on a new product. And we're going to focus most of our time today talking about this new product. But before we do that, I want to give you a little bit of a recap on our elevation event that we just came from in Hawaii. Andy was there along with many others of you probably on this call. We had about 150 of our distributorships there. Our senior people from around the globe joined us in Hawaii for 3 days of work and fun, and it was by all accounts an incredible event, very exciting, but also a very important stepping stone for our company. In the past, I haven't been to past elevations, but I'm told that we would spend about 4 hours speaking with distributors and talking to distributors from stage, as well as doing lots of playing. And this year we tried a little different formula and ended up speaking to distributors and with distributors for 10 hours instead of 4. And we were a little bit nervous. Is this going to be okay? Speaking to all these people for so long and taking them away from the beautiful sun and fun of Hawaii. And the reports we got back were not only is it okay, bring it on. We want more of that, more of what really makes our businesses fly. Lots of substance, lots of meat to this event, and by all accounts the best elevation retreat we've ever had. So we hope that those of you that weren't with us in Hawaii will do what it takes to be with us next year. It's worth your time. There's content there and relationships built that can't be built anywhere else, and we have a lot of fun as well. At this particular elevation, a couple of highlights really shone through, I think. One was that it was the first Zango event with Doug Weed on board. Doug Weed, of course, has joined with John Godsich in X-Go Pro and is a field trainer and consultant full-time with Zango now, and he is amazing. I had heard Doug speak once before, years ago, but this at the retreat we got to hear him 3 times speak for a total of a few hours, and unbelievable. He's a terrific speaker, he's a great motivator, and he's got a keen sense for this business. I can't recommend him highly enough. I know he's going to be on the road along with John and X-Go Pro over the next couple of months, and if he comes anywhere close to you, you should do everything you can to be there. Well worth your time. The other highlight, I hope, was a product that I'm going to tell you about a little bit. That is brand new, not yet released, and those 2 things really shone. But before I talk to you about that product, I do want to share with you some statistics and some promotions that are going to be running through between now and convention. And the first one is our ABCs promotions. I know all of you are familiar with ABCs. It's a very simple promotion where you recruit 1 person and help that person recruit 3 more themselves. That earns you an ABC bonus. And the interesting thing about this promotion is that the average growth over over the first half of this year for all active recruiting distributors has been 5%. Even in a challenging economy, a down market, we've seen checks go up by an average of 5% for those people that are actually out doing the business and recruiting. Now, contrast that with the average check for people who are actually participating in the ABCs program. Those who have earned any ABCs bonuses have seen their checks rise by an average of 17%. And in fact, that number has been going up month after month after month as those people are seeing that promotion help their businesses duplicate. It's just a healthy way to train. And so we're excited to announce that based on those kinds of stats and your feedback, that the ABCs promotion has been extended through the end of September this year. so that heading into convention, you'll have that to continue working with, as well as our free sign-up promotion for anyone signing up on 2-case ADP or any 200 PV ADP qualifies for free sign-up. Now, since convention is coming up, we wanted to blend this with some additional promotions to give you some special benefits at convention. And so we have a new promotion called the ABC's Golden Ticket. And this is a golden ticket to convention that gets you a whole bunch of benefits. It gets you an exclusive Zango dress shirt that notes you as a golden ticket winner. It includes a VIP registration experience. You'll get your own line and customized service, so you'll zip right through. You get a group breakfast with at least one of our founders. Excuse me. You get early entrance to general sessions. So half an hour before everybody else comes in, you get to come in. And you get preferred seating right at the front. A section will be roped off just for golden ticket winners, or earners, I should say. And if you are a 20K, you will also be invited to attend our Premier Leadership Meeting, which is normally just for premiers and up. So there's lots of great benefits. You'll be recognized and you'll enjoy the convention more if you win a golden ticket. Now, what's required to earn a golden ticket? Well, between March and September, so this is retroactive going back to March, if you advance in rank from a preferred rep to a 1K, from a 1K to a 5K, anything higher than that, if you advance in rank and you earn at least one personal ABC's bonus, you qualify for a golden ticket. There's also another way to do this. If you don't advance in rank, if you simply qualify at 20K and you earn, or higher, 20K or higher, and you earn personally an ABC's bonus, at least one, and you help someone else one rank less than you to earn their golden ticket, then you qualify as well. So if you're a 20K and you help a 5K, one of your 5Ks, earn a golden ticket, then you will also have a golden ticket to convention. So you'll be able to sit with the achievers in your group in that preferred seating and have that whole elite experience with them. Very exciting. We look forward to seeing lots of you qualify for that. Now, on to our new product. This new product, some of you, I'm sure, have already been hearing buzz about, because we've been doing something that we've never done before at Zango, and that is that we've been developing an opportunity as opposed to simply developing a product. You know, we have this great Zango juice, the best functional beverage in the business, and over the last year, we've introduced some really incredible other products, a full glimpse skincare line, 365 vitamins, and those are great products. We are going to be introducing another category-creating product, but not just a product. This product is being developed in a particular way to help it develop as an opportunity. We're working very closely with our leaders to make sure that we're doing this right, that we not only get the product right, but that we get all of the business elements right, that we have the right promotional materials, the right tools, the right story, the right pricing, everything long before this gets to market, so that the launch is everything you need to accelerate into the next wave of business growth for your business. So now, as I begin to show you this, I want you to realize that it's really new. This egg that you're seeing right now represents the state of this opportunity or this product at this moment. Normally, we wouldn't share this kind of information with you quite this early, but Andy has been exposed to this for some time now, has been part of this development effort, and asked if I would come and share a little bit of this with all of you. Now, the presentation that you're going to see, the slides you're going to see, have been reduced somewhat because Andy and the others who have been participating in this development effort are subject to some restrictions of a non-disclosure agreement. And so those things that Andy's not allowed to say and that I'm not allowed to say, I've taken out of here, but it's still going to be plenty for you. It's still a little bit raw, though, because we're not to product launch yet, and so it's a bit like the chicken and this egg. It still has a bit of hatching to do. But with that, let's move on and expose you to what I think is going to be the next wave of Zango and a very, very exciting product. We all know that Zango is a place that has touched millions of lives. You've all heard the testimonials of all kinds about our products, about our business. People simply want more out of their lives. They want to be healthier. They want to get up in the morning feeling good. They want to look in the mirror and feel good about themselves. And most people also want to be youthful. And they're coming to Zango today for all of those things, for finances, for health, for feeling better about themselves, for youth. But it's hard. You all know it's hard to feel this way. And it's particularly hard to feel this way in this time and age. And if we get to any group of people today and ask this question, are you tired, stressed, and depressed? Sorry, it looks like my slides aren't working quite right. There we go. Are you tired, stressed, or depressed? The answer is, yeah, all of the above. Of course I'm tired, stressed, and depressed. Everybody today is. In fact, this is the #1 reason that people go to the doctor. I was surprised to learn this as we first started developing this product. 1 in 3 doctor's visits today is about one of those symptoms, tired, stressed, or depressed. 120 million prescriptions are prescribed each year to deal with tired, stressed, and depressed. The majority of the prescription drug market is for tired, stressed, and depressed. That's how we try to deal with these things today. We're all tired and stressed and depressed in today's fast-moving world, and particularly with our economic crisis. And so we attempt to use things like this. You're seeing on your screen now the names of common antidepressants. These antidepressants account for $37 billion with a B, $37 billion of prescriptions written every single year. $37 billion. That was 2007. I'm sure it's even more than that now. In addition to these antidepressants, there are other medications to treat tired, stressed, and depressed, like sleep medications, Ambien and Lunesta. $4.3 billion, again with a B, $4.3 billion of revenue just for these sleep medications every year. On top of these, if you're tired, stressed, and depressed, a very common way to medicate tired, stressed, and depressed is energy drinks. Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, and there are a litany of others. These account for $3 billion a year. $3 billion. And of course, the most common stimulant that people go to for energy is coffee. Starbucks, Peet's, grocery store brands like Folgers, there are so many of these. Coffee accounts for another $29 billion a year of revenue. We put all of that together, and this is at least $80 billion that's being spent every year trying to treat tired, stressed, and depressed. Now, you noticed in there, if you were paying close attention, that there were things in there that can treat depression, things in there that can treat weariness, but what treats stress? There's really nothing today that treats stress. Is there anything that could treat stress? What if there was? What if there was something that could treat stress? Would this market now be a $100 billion market, a $200 billion market, a $500 billion market? I don't know, but it would certainly be huge. Everybody would want to get a hold of something that could make them feel less stressed. Well, what's going on? What's making us feel this way? Well, the problem that we have is not what we think. It's not. It's very tempting to think that the problem is my teenagers. Boy, if you could see my teenagers, they drive me crazy. Or if you could meet my premenopausal wife, you'd know why I was stressed. Or if you had my job, my heavens, that's why I'm stressed. But the reality is that the problem isn't your job. It isn't the economy, although certainly those things contribute. Partially, it is that we're aging. You know, we're not always as fit as we should be. Sometimes we get a little sick. But the real issue, the real reason that tired, stressed, and depressed is part of our lives is that our bodies are out of balance. Now, part of the reason that our bodies are out of balance are these environmental things. These act on our body, and they help our bodies get out of balance. Aging helps our body get out of balance. But it's the fact that our body is out of balance that causes our bodies to react poorly to all of these things and make us feel this way. So what is body balance? Well, when our body is out of balance, we suffer. We start feeling reduced energy. The more out of balance we are, the less energy we feel. We start having our mood affected. We get depressed. Our mental function is affected. We have reduced ability to concentrate, reduced ability to think clearly, and we start coping really poorly with stress. We become irritable, angry. Perhaps we just shut down. And we actually have visible responses as well. Our belly fat begins to be stored. Our skin doesn't look as good. There are lots of symptoms that you can actually see when our bodies are out of balance. Well, clearly we don't want this. We'd like to feel something else. Would you like to feel more cheerful, more energetic, certainly more alert, more vigorous, more resilient, able to cope with things that are coming at you, more youthful? Bottom line, would you like to feel more like you used to feel? Well, we all would. We'd all like to feel more like we used to feel, but is it possible? Can you really feel all of those things and more at the same time? Are you kidding? Nothing, no prescription drug can do that. No energy drink can do that. Coffee doesn't do that. Well, it's a good question. Can you really do that? Well, scientists have a word for feeling like that, and it's one of those words I can't share with you. But I'm going to talk about the sense of that word. That word is a word that's going to be important to us in the future, and it's why I'm not sharing it with you, because we don't want to give our competitors a leg up on that word just yet. But that word is a holistic measurement for how you feel overall. This means physically feel. How do you feel physically? How does your body feel? How do you mentally feel? How's your alertness, your ability to concentrate? And emotionally, how do you feel? How's your mood? How's your resilience? Well, if you put all of those things together and measure them using a specific scientific instrument called a profile of mood states, or POMS, we can come up with a score. We can measure all of those things at once, holistically, and come up with a score. And it turns out that if you try to artificially manipulate that score, it just doesn't work. For example, some of the things that you measure with that are energy levels and tension levels, anxiety levels. So suppose you drink a Red Bull. That's going to spike your energy. That's good for your score. But your anxiety goes up, your tension goes up. That's bad for your score. And so the net effect of drinking a Red Bull is actually a reduction in this holistic measurement. Now, all of us who have had a Red Bull, we know that, yeah, you're right. That's what it feels like. I briefly have more energy. I can maybe get done the task that I was trying to do, but then I crash, and I'm a little more irritable. And yeah, holistically, probably I didn't feel as good on the Red Bull. The same thing happens with antidepressants, with sleep medications, with other kinds of treatments. They don't get at this holistically. There's only one way to increase this holistic score, and that is to restore balance. Now, it so happens that there are quite a few compounds in your body that have to be balanced. And if we get these in balance, good things start to happen. And this product that we're talking about here works on 4 of them. I'm going to talk to you about 2 of them today. One of them, or 2 of them, are hormones, and one of those hormones is testosterone. Now, all of you ladies, don't freak out. You have testosterone too. We all have testosterone. We all have testosterone at a level that's right for us. Young people have less testosterone than mature people do. Women have less than men. Elderly have less than people in the prime of their life. We all have an amount of testosterone that's right for our body. Our bodies know how much to make. And when we have the right amount of testosterone, we have the energy we need. We have support for a good mood. Our brain function works right. We can concentrate, and our bodies know how to store lean body mass in response to exercise rather than putting on that stuff around the middle that we all don't like. Well, there's another hormone, and this hormone is cortisol. And the reason I've chosen these two is that these two actually balance each other. When testosterone levels get too low, cortisol gets too high, and when cortisol gets too low, testosterone can get out of whack. Well, cortisol is a stress hormone. When we get stressed, we produce cortisol, and it helps us cope with stress. I'll talk to you about how a little bit later. But when we have too much cortisol, it breaks down things in our body. It can actually break down our brain, break down other critical organs, and it causes us to store belly fat in response to stress. Bad things. So getting those two things in balance, along with these other two compounds I'm not going to talk about today, help us feel better. So how do we get things back into balance? Well, it's not a trivial thing to get into balance. We need both health and wellness. Our bodies have to function right, and we have to address wellness, something new here. Zango has long been trying to address health, and we've been doing it very effectively with our Zango juice, the most effective functional beverage on the market. It's Zango's first category creator. It's full of xanthones, proanthocyanidins, catechins, all that good stuff, and it helps us get and stay healthy with strong anti-inflammatory properties, antioxidant defense, pro-digestive properties. Right? There's a lot of things that Zango Juice does for us, and that's why we've been able to build this billion-dollar business on Zango Juice, because these testimonials just keep flooding in. Last year, we introduced 365 vitamins, core nutrition, exactly the components that our bodies need to just do the basics of remaining healthy. We also introduced late last year Glimpse Topical Skin Nutrition, completely all-natural, non-toxic skincare that keeps us from introducing things into our bodies that keep us from being healthy. So these together help us be healthy, but where's the wellness? What do we do about wellness? What do we do about feeling better, our moods, our ability to concentrate, all of those things we talked about a bit ago? Do we have an answer for that? Well, we do now, and here's the incredibly catchy name, Formula X-51. Now, that's not really going to be the name of our product. I'm sure you figured that out immediately, but that's our code name right now. That's how this product was born in our laboratories. Formula X-51, and it helps you feel good again. Feel the way you're supposed to feel when your body is working right, that sense of wellness. And this goes together hand in hand with Zango Juice. Zango Juice helps us with that health, and X-51 provides the wellness. These two things together operate to give you that balance that you need. X-51 doesn't do any of the things that Zango Juice does. It doesn't have any xanthones. It doesn't have proanthocyanidins. It doesn't have catechins. It doesn't have the things Zango Juice does, and vice versa. Zango Juice doesn't do anything that X-51 does. These two things are perfect complements to each other. Now, how did this come into being? Well, this starts with our founder, Joe Morton, and you are all familiar with Joe and Joe's story about how the mangosteen, the queen of fruits, came to Zango. Joe found that while he was living in Southeast Asia, living in Malaysia, and that's not the only thing that Joe found while he was down there. He actually found quite a few very, very interesting botanicals that he brought back to Zango. The queen of fruits was the most important of them. The mangosteen is obviously what we founded our business on. He's talked before about durian, another fruit that he looked at very closely, and Zango has researched extensively. Well, there's another compound that he brought back to Zango. This particular botanical he brought later. And the reason is that when Joe was in Malaysia, he was constantly being pitched by people trying to get him to become aware of and buy the latest, whatever they had to sell down there. And he tells, when you ever get him on stage, have him tell the story of some of the really hilarious demos he was given, some really crazy things. But one of these things kept coming forward. Joe kept hearing about it, and he kept rejecting it because, like everything else in Southeast Asia, if you've ever been there or looked at the compounds that have come out of Southeast Asia, all these botanicals start out being libido enhancers. Everything is about performance. And Joe rejected all of those things out of hand. I mean, who wants to start a great company and base it on something like that? Well, you don't. Nobody would. So Joe set it aside, but it was on his short list of things that everybody's talking about, very powerful stuff. And then a few years later, after starting Zango and becoming very successful, Joe went back to Malaysia for the grand opening of our Malaysia office. And while he's jet lagged, he needs to go on stage, he asks somebody to go get him something to pep him up. And they bring back a drink and say, Joe, drink this, it's the next ginseng. And he looks at the ingredients and he recognizes this ingredient that he's been thinking about all these years, and the light goes on for him. Oh my gosh, what if it's real that this is really the next ginseng? What if this stuff is the next ginseng? Because, he grew up in a family of herbal gerbils, he likes to say. He's familiar with all of these things. In fact, he and his brother Gordon used to tee-hee about ginseng because Mom and Dad would evangelize this stuff, and they knew that it was a libido enhancer. Well, that's not the reputation it has today, is it? Ginseng's about energy and about brain function, a lot of good things. Well, Joe realized that the next ginseng would be something really huge, and he brought this back about 2 years ago, and Zango began working with this stuff. About 6 months ago, a doctor came to see us, a doctor that Robert Conley has worked with closely over the years, that I have worked with at another company, and he came in the door and talked to us about a proprietary formula that he had put together that had some very interesting properties. And as we got talking about this, it became clear that one of the 4 ingredients in this proprietary blend was the very thing that Joe had found in Southeast Asia. And everything started coming together. The research we'd been doing came together with the research this doctor had been doing, and this X-51 was born. And so began a tremendous amount of research that has led us to this point today. And let me back up just a little bit and tell you how we actually got to this call. Back in April, after we decided that this really looked like a strong possibility for us, we brought together our elite group of distributors, our elite group of leaders in the $1 Million Club. Zango's $1 Million Club are those people who have earned $1 million from Zango in commissions. And we exposed them to this under a strict non-disclosure agreement and gave them samples, and we made them guinea pigs, part of a research study, and told them that we would not move forward with this unless they were extremely enthusiastic about where we were headed with the product and that the product worked for them. And the feedback, obviously, since we're on this call, is extremely positive. Definitely go forward with this.
And Larry, I was one of that test that was given to there in Las Vegas, and anytime if you get up enough nerve, you can ask me to share my personal experience.
Well, with that kind of introduction, I'm going to have to do that. Wait a few slides, and I'm going to then. Let me tell you a little bit about this cortisol thing. This is a presentation our scientist usually gives, but why zebras don't get ulcers is about cortisol. Zebras, of course, spend most of their time doing just like this, grazing, trying to find enough to eat. They're nice and peaceful, and then their life gets disrupted by something like this. Lion comes and chases them around, and their body is instantly hit with adrenaline and cortisol, and they do everything they can to evade the lion, and 15 minutes later, they're snuggling and eating grass again, and their bodies are just fine. Cortisol levels are back to normal. Now, how about humans? Well, I think I would probably just drop dead of fear if a lion chased me, but we face a different kind of stress. We face stress that's chronic. We've got difficult stresses at work, causing our brains to be disturbed by cortisol, and we move on from there to a traffic jam, to problems with the teenager. It just never lets up. So our cortisol levels don't spike and go down. They just stay high where they shouldn't stay, where our bodies were not meant to have. And ultimately, instead of snuggling and eating grass, we end up in the grave. Well, that's one of the mechanisms that this stuff works on. X-51's proprietary blend of natural ingredients does a couple of key things. The first thing it does, please excuse me, is it restores testosterone to your own normal level. As you're in your body, you're producing an amount of testosterone that's right for you, and that testosterone is moving through your bloodstream on the backs of some proteins, and one of these proteins binds with testosterone and makes it impossible for your body to use that testosterone. X-51 helps it unbind so that your body can use the testosterone that it's already producing. So ladies, don't worry, you're not going to produce any extra testosterone. There's no side effects here other than your body's got what it's supposed to have. This stuff also increases sensitivity to cortisol. So your body knows not to make too much. It can sense, I've got plenty of cortisol for my stressful situation. I don't need to make unhealthy levels. And the combination of these brings your body back into balance and helps you feel good again. The net result is that with Zango, you get to have life as it should be. You get to have the lifestyle you want, the good feelings you want in terms of mood. You get to look into the mirror and find the person that you want. You get the finances you want with X-51 and Zango Juice. Now let me share a little bit of research with you before we wrap up. This stuff, X-51, helps you, and this is the result of the study that we did on our $1 Million Club. That study is one of many that have been done now. We've got studies on thousands of people now, but this is the study on our $1 Million Club, and if you notice there, they've had increased energy, better mood, mental alertness, better sleep, better coping skills, and they reported some interesting side effects that weren't planned. They lost belly fat, and some reported an increase in libido. And I won't take you through that whole graph, but that's before and after. The light purple is a before score for each of those attributes, and the dark blue is the after score. And you notice that the dark blue is larger in every case but one, which is the stress score. Stress goes down. All these other good things go up with this stuff. Now, the experience that people have with X-51 is unlike they've had with any other sort of energy preparation. This isn't like an energy drink. You don't take this and immediately feel pep. Instead, your survey score goes up, this thing we're measuring. You get more energy, better mood during the first week, but it takes 2, 3, 4 days for your body to regulate itself and you to begin to feel this. And because it takes some time and it doesn't spike you like other things that people are used to, it's not like a cup of coffee, it's not even like taking your antidepressant, some people aren't sure that they feel anything at all. And if they feel something, they're not sure that they should give any credit to X-51. So week 1 is a little bit dicey, but the score that we give to these people and that we help them get for themselves, they can see quantitatively, unambiguously, that it had an effect. But they're just not sure they feel it. Well, by week 2, they're starting to talk about it. They're stringing too many good days together for this to be a fluke. They're coping so much better with stress. Things are coming at them, and they're just dealing with it. It's like not a big deal. They're sleeping more soundly, and they're beginning to say, this X-51 is incredible. I'm not sure I can live without this. By week 3 and beyond, they're starting to notice changes in their life. They're conducting their life differently. They're getting a lot more done. They wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. They can make those phone calls that they couldn't make yesterday. They can exercise, and they couldn't make themselves do it before. They can stay on their diet. They're optimistic and determined, and they're beginning to report these beneficial side effects, like weight loss or an increased libido. Not everybody sees these things, but we get more of them. And so we tell people who are using this that we learned through the experience with our $1 Million Club that we have to set expectations for people. Nothing sudden happens. You can't take this because you need a spike. Nothing sudden happens. Nothing bad, nothing good suddenly happens. What you do feel, though, is over a period of a few days, you're feeling like you used to feel. Wow, I just feel like I was younger or healthier. I feel like I used to feel. And for those very small number of people who still say they're not feeling anything, we just tell them, okay, stop using it. That usually lasts about 2 to 3 days, while this stuff stops working, gets out of their system, and they're feeling like they did again, and suddenly they notice the difference, and they're back. Okay, I need some. That's the X-51 experience. Now, right now, this has incredibly cool packaging, as you can see here. It's in a lab sample. This is all we have. We can barely make enough of it for our $1 Million Club and the people who are at Elevation. It's only a 1-week supply that we have available today. A 1-week supply costs $20, but our goal is that when we release this soon, we'll have a 1-month supply available for between $50 and $60 per month. And so that will go alongside your Zango juice with, of course, full PV. Now, the timeline on this is as follows. We started introducing this concept to Andy and others on April 9th of this year. We're now at, June 8th? And you can see that on July 20th, something important happens. July 20th is our pre-launch. Our pre-launch is the end of all of these non-disclosure requirements and is the start of enough supply, an adequate supply, that we think we can supply everybody who wants to get involved with X-51. We will still not have our final packaging, all of our final marketing materials and final tools. Those will come September 9th at a launch event, and by convention, this will be the main event. This will be what we're talking about and what you want to bring new people to convention for, among other things. Now, that's not the only things we're doing right now. We're putting a lot of effort into this. This is getting the lion's share of our attention, but we are still working on other things. Those of you who are interested, we're working on some great personal care products with hair care and body care, daily use things that we're going to be launching later this year. We also, Beverly Hollister mentioned it at our regional in Las Vegas recently, our Glimpse mineral treatment, which will be coming out later this summer. And we had such an overwhelming response from all of you at regional to paracarp oil that we're working hard on introducing paracarp oil as a standard product as well. And those announcements will come later this summer too. So with that, I'm done talking. Andy, I'd love to hear your story, and then with the few minutes we have left, if you want to take any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, that'll be great. And now, since we've got a lot of people on this call who are not members of the $1 Million Club, when will these people be able to buy it? Looking at that graph, when would everybody on this call, yes, you'll be able to order it? Is that the pre-launch or? Okay.
All right. So this is a little bit complicated. Up until Elevation, the only people who could purchase this were $1 Million Club members, and they were constrained to 20 bottles per month. It's all we could manufacture. And they exposed some of their downlines to them using those 20 bottles, but that's all we had. At Elevation, we introduced some more people to this, and if you were at Elevation or if you qualified to go to Elevation but were unable to attend, you now also qualify, although you will have to sign an NDA if you haven't already done so. You will qualify to purchase up to 20 of these samples per month as well in June and July. July 20th is the day that we will have enough supply and the elimination of those restrictions so that anybody at all can purchase this. In the meantime, if you're one of these lucky people who's qualified to purchase it, we welcome you to share this stuff with others and start developing your own stories.
Great. All right. So I'm excited about that. Well, I'll share my personal story, then we'll take some questions.